Yeah, I've started a recording.
Yeah. Okay. Well, nice to have both of you, Kaushal and Kadambini, join this session. Before I start, I'd like to ask you, what do you want to get out of this briefly? Let's start with Kadambini.
So, technical writing and communication on the basis of it is the essence of every job right now. So, if we are able to communicate what is in our thoughts completely in a very lucid manner, that solves half of the trouble. And coming to technical writing, it is one of the professional ways, and I want to learn the ways these professional in professional setup we need to write. So
Okay.
we have our regional language also. We have English as a language also, but we have created different versions of all the language. But to have similarity, a consistency, a uniformity in our writing, I think this skill is what I want to learn.
Okay, great. Okay, Kaushal, how about you?
Yes. We all know that communication is such an integral part of our daily life. So, uh, if we can communicate well, we can effectively uh, effectively give our thoughts to someone, and also if we communicate in a proper manner, then we would be able to transfer our knowledge properly to our juniors as well. So
Okay.
yes, sir. So that is
Yeah, no, no,
so it's a
good point. Both of you sort of focusing on the same, that communication is so important, and written communication, and therefore writing properly so
yeah,
that the reader can understand.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So you'll see the look and feel of this PowerPoint is very old. It is a very old PowerPoint I had created over 20 years ago for my students who, when it came to writing thesis, they all said, I don't know what to do. Hmm? So, in general, writing is not easy. You don't know where to start sometimes. You don't know what to include. Then you don't know what to exclude. You have so much information. And sometimes you do not have the information when you start writing. How can I start writing? People think, oh, I don't have all the information. Yeah? Then how to structure it? And when you have created most of your thesis or any other document, sometimes you don't know where to stop. You want to put all the information that you have into that one document. Huh? Has it happened to you? Anybody has felt like that? Any of these points? You can keep
Absolutely.
your,
When I
Yes,
writing my
yeah.
dissertation for masters, I felt the
Yeah.
same. Too much information, which is spread across many verticals, and you don't know where to start and what to place below what. So that has been very nicely summarized in these points.
Okay. And Kaushal, you felt the same way?
yes. I actually lack mental clarity, like what to write next, or like what should be the chronological order. Always struggle in that.
You called it mental clarity. I'll say no, it's not your mental clarity. It's just a technique. And
Technique.
that's what I'm going to present to you. You probably are quite clear about what you want to present. Sometimes you're not, but even when you are, how to go about doing it is sometimes the issue. We all have. Don't worry. I've had it. My students have had it endless. So such statements are often made. Most people believe in them, which you sort of showed me, and apply. See, I wrote this many years ago. This applies mainly to creative writing, stories, novels, etc. But I've added really after that, because after having made this PowerPoint, I have gone into fiction writing. Oh, but realize the same process applies there as well. You're creating a good story when you're writing a technical document, just as you're creating a story when you're writing a story. So there is an easy way to systematize technical writing. Particularly, we'll focus on that. And that's what I intend to show you. I called it the simple method. I made that acronym because I'll show you what it means. And it has been used many times. So it's a stepwise refinement process. You refine your thoughts step by step. And that idea I got from a computer scientist when I started doing programming. They want to write a computer program. You write your overall objective, break it into 5 to 10 steps. Even 10 is on the higher end, 5 to 7 steps. Main points, what you have to do. Then take each one, break it further, and keep applying this from top level to the bottom. So if you're doing technical writing, start with the thesis chapters. Think what should the chapters be. The lucky thing for you guys is you got word processors. You can edit any number of times you like, and you should be editing multiple times, up to 50 times before you finalize the document. So don't expect that first of all, the first time you write will be correct. In fact, I was talking to a senior guy, almost my age, the other day. He said, Nalin, I want to write something, but I don't know. He was saying the same thing. And I think I will write wrong. I said, but write. First draft is never right. Even the top writers tell you that. So start the process by looking at the big picture. If it's a thesis or it's a report, then it is sections. Thesis has chapters, and then break it down each into 5 to 10 subsections, subchapters, and then keep going down till you go down to a paragraph. And I don't know if any of you have done, and the idea came to me because of basic language programming. There was a language called BASIC. You nodding, Kadambini, you heard about it? It starts with a begin and end statement.
No, sir, not an IT person.
Okay, so there used to be a basic programming which I used during my PhD. Even Kaushal may not have seen it.
Yes.
You had to start the first line called, the term had to be begin, to tell the computer begin, this is my program starting, and end with an end statement. So the first time when I started explaining to one of my master students, I used that analogy, and this PowerPoint developed over time. I say, okay, you begin section 1, 2, 3, 4, very easy, maybe up to 7. And I say, don't go up to 10, up to 7 is fine. What will it look like? If it's a thesis, begin will be chapter 1, introduction. We always have, isn't it? You all had it. So you can type in a word processor, chapter 1, introduction. Chapter 2, it will be something like fundamentals of whatever. Chapter 3, design requirements. If it's a design, I'm talking more engineering oriented, could be something else. Chapter 4, 5. By the end, you are reaching results and then their analysis, almost in any document. And then finally conclusion. So it's very easy. Even if these are not the final terms, you can start a Word document and type these straight away. Don't wait till you have all the information. In fact, this will show you what information you need, and go and hunt for it. Project proposal, section 1, we might call it executive summary, introduction, design requirements. You see, now section 2 is introduction, not section 1. Depending upon the type of document we are writing, the headings are. Commonly, we know what type of headings will be used. It's a project proposal, design requirements, system design, implementation options. These are just examples. Cost analysis. So if you're making a proposal that this project should be funded by your company, you need to give costing, and possibly conclusion saying this is the best option for us, something of that nature. So you can see, you can write headings.
Yes.
Project report. You may start with aim and objectives. What's the difference between aim and objectives? I'll talk about it. Sometimes there is a confusion. Something like hardware, software required, procedures, data collected, analysis of data, conclusion. So these are examples I have written. You could be having totally different headings. If you're writing a paper, the first section is always abstract.
Sure. Yes.
Then comes introduction. Simulation model, I've again made up mathematical models, simulation and experimental results, comparative analysis, conclusions. So I hope by now you can see, irrespective of what document you're writing, irrespective of the fact that you have all the information or not to begin with, you can start writing your document. Do you think you can?
Yes.
Caution?
Yes,
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 sir.
sir.
Yeah, Kadambini?
Yes, sir.
You've gone away for a moment. Okay. So then what do you do next? Expand each section into subsections. And expand each subsection into next level of subsections. Do you both know how to use in Microsoft Word headings, heading style 1, 2, 3, 4, etc.?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You know, Kadambini, Kaushal?
Yes, sir. I've used it.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Use. They have 1.1, 1.2, such kind
Yep.
of.
Yeah, exactly. So you must use, sometimes, students just bold or underline and make them headings. No, straight away use the heading styles of Microsoft Word to create the headings for your sections, then subsections. So once you have section headings, think, what do I need to put in this section? Okay, under what headings I can put that information. So write the headings of subsections. Once again, it's not final. You can change them if required. You can swap them if required. So expand the lowest subsection into paragraphs. And a paragraph, very important to understand. We don't write long paragraphs these days, particularly technical documents. It must cover one point only, and it should not be too big. 3 to 5, maximum 7 sentences. 7 is getting too big. These days, if you see good technical documents, about 3 to 5 sentences will be there. So each paragraph should be about one issue only, one point. For example, in a thesis for video conferencing over the internet, and the chapter 5 is experimental results. You might have need for data collection. That's the begin. Results over the internet, troubleshooting, quality of service. This is again coming from the type of research I was doing and my students were doing. Conclusion. Now, every section should have a conclusion. You may or may not have a heading called conclusion, but everything, even every paragraph must have a conclusion. The last sentence, the last word in each paragraph should conclude it properly. Yeah. So you can see this model is still there, the begin part and the end part, and in between is the information that you want to convey. And even if you look at each of these results over the intranet, that can be broken into subsections. So you do not start by writing paragraphs, you start by making headings, subheadings, sub-subheadings as far as you can. And if it's not finalized, doesn't matter, you will edit it. So write concise paragraphs, 3 to 7 sentences. 7 is on the upper end. Write short sentences. First sentence should introduce to the topic of the paragraph. Say, we cover how we should improve the bandwidth of the system. Before you describe how to do it, you must tell the reader, what is this paragraph about? And then the following sentences should follow a logical sequence, one after the other, answering more questions. And the last sentence should conclude that topic, even in the paragraph. You think of the paragraph, there is the first sentence is the begin, last is the end, which should conclude and very importantly link it to the next paragraph. And when you're writing, sometimes you're not sure of your exact words to use, but you know, I need to explain this here. So put within bracket, write the idea within bracket. Oh, we have to explain how this is done over here. What is the best bandwidth we can achieve in this system? Write that. You can get that information and plug it in later. Don't feel that you must get that information straight away. Don't stop the flow of your thought process. Things which you have in your head, put them down on paper.
Okay. So can we have a small example over here wherein we end the sentence with a conclusion and then link it to the next paragraph?
Very good question. And I have another lecture where I will show in more detail those things. So in this one,
Okay.
we are just talking about the structure and some of the key points, how to go about doing it. And excellent. We need to see examples how to write good paragraphs, how to conclude a good paragraph so that it links to the next one. Some of it
Yeah.
I will talk a little bit in this. Good. I'm happy to, I didn't say it in the beginning. Let me say now, just like you ask Adimini, ask questions whenever they pop up in your head. Don't wait till the end. Good.
Okay.
One of the things with technical writing is use graphical elements as much as possible. What are graphical elements? Of course, diagrams, graphs, flowcharts, even dot points. I'm calling them graphical elements because they're easy to read. The aim is that the gist of that section, the reader should understand by just looking at that graphical element, like a diagram, like a flow chart, or the dot points. And then what you're writing should be basically just expanding, explaining what that graphical element is already showing. A good technical document will be such that the reader can flip through, look at all the graphs and understand what this is all about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kaushal, you
Yes.
okay there? Going
Yeah.
okay?
Yes, sir.
Any
Absolutely.
question?
No, sir.
No? Okay.
Yeah. I'm also taking down some notes, so pardon me
Okay,
if
no,
I
no,
delay.
share if you want to. You're most welcome to take down notes, but PowerPoint I will share with you, no problem. And
Yeah.
then revise once, twice, maybe 100 times. And when you're revising, one of the things is do not throw away old documents. You create, when you start a document, give a good name, which should be meta information. What is this file about? People should
Right.
know this is this paper, this is this document, and end it with V for version 1. After you've done some work, you had a break, lunch break, coffee break, start again, version 2. Especially if you're deleting things out, don't delete things which you have written without creating a new version, because sometimes we say, oh, what I wrote earlier was so good, I wish I had it. Don't lose it. Keep all the versions right up to, doesn't matter, 25, 50, 100. Memory is cheap. Don't wait about that.
Yes.
Now, once you have written, revising, consider the consistency of the content at every level, at the overall level. Are the chapters in the correct order or not? Sometimes when we initially write, we write in one order, then we realize, no, it should be the other way around. What I wrote as chapter 5 should be chapter 4. You can copy paste easily these days, no problem. Similarly, look at the order of even sentences in a paragraph. Is the first sentence the correct begin? Is the last sentence the correct end? Even I have done this. I've written conclusion in the middle of the paragraph. Then I realized, no, this should come in the end because it came to my mind. So I just wrote it there. So don't worry about it. Put your memory dump there, But when you're revising, look at it carefully. What should be the order of sentences? Ask a friend to read and tell you if they understand exactly what you meant. If you have to explain to your friend what you meant, then there is something missing. And that friend preferably should not know your technical area.
Oh.
Only if you, I
That's
tell
very
everybody,
important.
but PhD, yeah, Kadambini, go ahead.
Absolutely, because then they have a bias like we have.
Yes. I got my PhD thesis read by my father, who was a government servant, civil servant, had no idea about my engineering. My sister, who had done PhD herself in child development, again, no idea, but she understood what. So they didn't have to understand everything, but they get a big picture of what I have done. Only then it makes sense that I have written something okay. And when someone gives you feedback, do not justify what you have written. Just listen and record in your head. Take down notes. I've seen so many people try to justify, no, but I wrote it like this, etc. No, you can do that later. The feedback you may accept or not accept. Even when we submit papers, there are other people who have to, reviewers review it and give feedback. Different reviewers sometimes will give opposite feedback. Somebody says, I like it. Somebody says, I don't like it. It's your choice which one to accept or find some in
Right.
between. So when somebody gives you feedback, the only thing you say is thank you. Doesn't matter how critical their feedback is, the more critical, the better. You
Correct.
agree or not agree, you don't have to follow it. You're the expert. Even as a supervisor, PhD supervisor, I keep reminding my students, after I've done changes to your document, please read again. I might have messed up something, meaning might have changed completely. You are the one who knows, not me. You're the one doing PhD, not me. Similarly, for any thesis you are writing, you are the expert. But you don't have to argue at that point when they're giving feedback. So I called it simple methodology because it is systematic. You can follow a systematic procedure. I hope you saw that stepwise refinement, chapters, sub-chapters, down to paragraph, informative. Why? Because at some stage when you put a heading and then you say, but I don't have this information, it tells you, go grab information about this. Go and read other papers about it. Go and read other documents about it. It's methodical. It's using stepwise refinement method, and it applies at every level from top level right down to the bottom. It uses word processor. It uses a process itself so that you can make changes with minimum effort. You probably don't even appreciate it. People like me who had to write their thesis by hand, give it to a typist, and if the typist
Right.
made a mistake, they had to not white out. It was a cyclostyling. I don't know if you've seen cyclostyling. To make 5 copies, there used to be a system called cyclostyling. Each cyclostyling cost a lot of money. So you have to be very careful. But you don't have to be. That's what I'm telling you. So don't worry about it. Write what it is, just revise again and again. And it lets you add information in any section as you get hold of it. You don't have to have all the information before you start writing. You actually can write you can start your thesis before you start your PhD or any research project you are doing. In trying to write the report will tell you what you have to do. Go and do this experiment to get results for this experiment. Because you know in that section, you have to fill those results. And
Right.
hopefully it lets you enjoy writing, not have the fear which you sort of had at the beginning. I'm hoping you didn't have fear or at least some hesitation. So start writing as soon as the project begins. Don't wait till the end or even half time. Day one, even before you've done anything, because that will make your brain neurons get fired up as to what you should be doing to write a good
Correct.
report. Because irrespective of what you've done in a formal project is what you write in the report. Ultimate judgment in more academic circles, definitely, but even in the industry these days, you have to write a report. Yeah. And then
Right.
you heard, an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yes.
Yes.
So a page a day keeps heartache away or something else, worries away or something else. So write on average 1 page a day. First day, maybe just writing headings, and under headings within brackets, you start writing, in this section, I have to explain how this is done, because that's not the final text. So anything which you are writing to remind yourself what to do, what to get, what information to search for, put within brackets.
Right.
And there are other aspects about when you are quoting, you have to quote information, don't plagiarize, learn how to. There is so much more to be done about good writing, and there are so many other lectures I have about it. But if you cover too much in one day, it doesn't go in the hand. Today, I just want to do this, that this is the methodical process that you can follow. There is so much about how to write good language, how to choose good headings, how to, you know, conclude properly, how to introduce each topic. And that I created a method called movement oriented design. I will cover that, if you like, some other day. Yeah. Because
Right.
too much in one day gives you indigestion, isn't it?
Yes.
Information indigestion. That's a new term. Okay. So, in summary, the simple methodology makes technical writing easy. Use a word processor and learn it well. Often people don't know all the features it has. Go and spend some time learning all the features Microsoft Word gives you. Use outline, styles, and other useful features. Even, you know, sharing documents for editing. Yeah. Have you done that? Track changes?
Track changes. Yes.
Very important to share with others. Include graphical elements, as many as you can. Sometimes even something which you think you can describe, but first make a block diagram. Just make boxes of the various aspects of the project, linking them with arrows. Okay, we do this, go to the next step. It's so much easier for the reader to see the linkage of these boxes with big headings in them rather than reading big text.
Like a mind map.
Mind map, yes, good term. Mind map is very good. So you can put real mind maps in there in each section. If you don't have anything for engineers and all, you may have for coding, you may have a flow chart,
Chart.
you may have pseudocode, right, Kaushal? You're using
Yes.
pseudocode to start your coding?
Yes, I use comment also.
Yeah,
Like, first I write the comments
yeah.
like what I have to
Comments will
code.
go into main thing, but
Yes,
how do you show what the whole objective of this document, this project is? So make it easy for the reader. Make it enjoyable for the reader.
yes.
A good
Correct.
writer is that in the region, once they start, they can't leave it. They want to finish it. And I give the example of one book I once read many years ago on mobile networks. I had never read such a beautiful technical book. I didn't want to put it down, almost like a novel. When you don't want to put down a novel, you want to read the story. He had written so beautifully. After end of every chapter, he connected, he raised questions about what's coming in the next chapter. I wanted to read it even before going to sleep. Very difficult to do in technical documents, but that author had done. I better find out that author's name. I've forgotten now and what book it was. So update the document regularly. I missed that one. Start writing from day one of the project. Don't wait till you progress somewhat. Even before your boss says write a report, start writing it. Even if you don't have to write a report, write it for yourself. It will make it easy to do the project. Update the document regularly. As soon as you get information, plug it in. It doesn't have to be in formal way. But if you copy and paste from somewhere and you have not properly referenced it, why I applied this, I would highlight it in yellow. I
Yes.
know that copy paste, I have to now either rephrase it or I have to put it in quote marks and give reference. So and so author says this. I hope you know that aspect of quotation. Yeah. Record all reference. When you find a reference, particularly when you're writing, research papers, you have to give full references. Don't wait. You'll waste time in the future. As soon as you get a reference, get all the information about the reference, put it in a document. If nothing else, copy and paste. And often I use this techniques. This copy and paste is allowed. If you find a reference as a reference is another paper, because referencing, if you've done, sometimes is very tedious. What comes first, then comma and all that. From the other paper, copy and paste the reference in your paper. That copy paste is okay. That's not plagiarism.
Okay.
Rather than start reformatting. Yeah. And revise once, twice, and possibly how much?
100 times.
100 times. Don't be afraid of revising. Yeah. So that's this short, simple lecture on simple methodology for making technical writing easy. Any questions? Yeah.
Kaushal, you want to go first?
Yeah, I want to go first. Sir, does the like what sort of word we use, does it matter? Like someone using simple words while other is using very like complicated words. Does it matter in this technical paper writing?
Yeah, I'm so sorry to cut you in, but precisely that was my question too. So what happens is we as Indians, when we write the English language, most of the words, they appear to be high end or jargon for us if we read the authors outside, because it's their language. They've been doing it for years and they know they know their words, so their words sometimes appears to be our jargon. So how do we maintain that uniformity as to which our paragraph also looks very sound, very it has a good language, like appreciable language, and easy to understand also?
First of all, the simpler the language, the better it is for technical writing. You don't have to be Shashi Tharoor. The fewer words your reader has to look up in dictionary or Google, the more successful writer you are. Okay. Any technical term you must introduce very carefully.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. So just 1 minute is left in the meeting. It says that.
Okay. So if this closes at 1 minute, we will meet another day, and all your questions, email those to me. We will answer. There is a follow-up lecture about the language aspect. Okay. We will cover that another day. Very good questions. I'm